Darling using this figure. Maybe he believes the bankers in the blatant sense of their own self-worth, that the investment staff at RBS are the only people in the world capable of doing that very important job. And if their bonuses are curved, then they'll fly away with skyward. Our job in the coming weeks is to convince the Chancellor that there are plenty of bankers out there who are willing to stand shoulder to shoulder with the British people in this time of economic crisis and work for fair remuneration in our nationally owned banks. We have to convince the Chancellor there are bankers who are prepared to do their bit and rebuild the trust and confidence that are crucial if we are to live in a market economy. The bankers who believe that they have a responsibility to the taxpayer who saved them from ruin. Most importantly, the bankers who realise that to receive excessive bonus payments now at a time when so many people are suffering as a result of their irresponsible risk taking would undermine public confidence in their profession. Sadly, we never hear from those bankers. The trustworthy, the dependent, the hard-working bankers. It's always the loud, aggressive, greedy bankers we hear, demanding more handouts from the state to support their festive lifestyle. But we don't need those bankers anymore. They're the ones who've got us into this position. And their inability to understand their destructive role in the credit crunch is underlined by their eagerness to get back to business as usual. Let them go, I say. For what we lose in terms of economic power, we will gain in social cohesion. Casting out the money changers now will put down a marker in this election year. A clear declaration that the citizens of this country are no longer held in thrall to the mythology of the market. But we believe that wealth creation is beneficial to our society only if everyone shares in those benefits. We've come out here today to do as citizens what our political leaders seem unable to accomplish. This government has failed to narrow the inequality gap because it has refused to face down the richest 10% in this country. You know, they seek to avoid this issue, to explain this apparent oversight of the government by smugly pointing to the shocking revelation of the National Employment Panel report, which recorded a decline, unbelievably a decline, in the number of people who wish to see the equality gap narrow. The thing is, with those figures, those opinions were formed during an economic boom, which proved to be unsustainable. I would bet good money that those numbers who want to see the inequality gap narrowed have dramatically risen as families begin to suffer the aftershocks of the banking crisis. In the coming days, more and more people will be forced to rely on the hard-working people in the public sector to get by. What our society needs is not cuts in public services and tax rates for the rich. Instead, we need to recognise that we are all in this together and that the only real prospect of digging ourselves out of this hole, abandon the market-led policies of the last 30 years and commit ourselves once again to a progressive tax regime, the helping hand of the people that shapes a compassionate society, where a commonly held sense of fairness ensures that each contributes according to their means, while each receives according to their needs. The bankers received what they needed in their hour of crisis. Now it's time for them to contribute in accordance with their needs. Financiers know this, which is why they huddled together in that secret meeting in Davos. They know that the payment of excessive bonuses is morally unacceptable after the devastating crash of 2008. They're expecting, it's clear, they're expecting to have to take bad medicine to cure their ailments. And yet our government somehow seemed reluctant to administer it. The failure of politicians to act on bankers' bonuses is a relic of the monetarist orthodoxies of the past 30 years, a stark illustration of the value system gone wrong. It begs the question, who really runs this country? And it feeds into a sense of powerlessness that spells danger for democracy in an election year. believe that we are powerless. The very fact that those bank chairmen gathered together in Davos, skulking in their secret, they know the power that public opinion has. They know that they must change their ways. They're just waiting for a nudge. George Osborne isn't going to give them that. Nor it seems is Alistair Darling. Instead, it's left to us, the ordinary taxpayer, the ordinary working people, to apply the pressure. And that's why I'll be funded by taxpayers. And it seems to me to be the only weapon I have to draw attention to this issue and to put pressure on the one man who can significantly make a difference. It's Alistair Darling, the Chancellor of the Exchequer, in charge of the man who has in his pocket the veto to deal with the RBS bonus. Now, if we can do that, if we can put that pressure, I believe we can make this issue of inequality in this country a frontline issue in the general election. Limiting the bonuses of a few thousand bankers of RBS may seem small. On a global scale, we have so many problems to face. But we have to start somewhere. But if we succeed, if we are able to put down that clear marker, that kind of excessive capital is no longer supported by society, supposed to have some form of equality. If we can put down that marker, then word of our victory will spread like wildfire. People around the world realise that the fight back has begun. Well, they wouldn't decide to deal with it. You know, our weapon against the bonuses is not the pitchfork and the flame. It's part of the contractual agreement between the bank and the government. What is stopping Alistair Darling from using this vehicle? Maybe he believes the bankers, in the blatant sense of their own self-worth, that the investment staff of RBS are the only people in the world capable of doing that very important job. And if their bonuses are curbed, then they'll fly away and the sky will fall in. Our job in the coming weeks is to convince the Chancellor that there are plenty of bankers out there who are willing to stand shoulder to shoulder with the British people in this time of economic crisis and work for fair remuneration in our nationally owned banks. We have to convince the Chancellor there are bankers who are prepared to do their bit and rebuild the trust and confidence that are crucial if we are to live in a market economy. The bankers who believe that they have a responsibility to the taxpayer who saved them from ruin. Most importantly, the bankers who realise that to receive excessive bonus payments now, at a time when so many people are suffering as a result of their irresponsible risk-taking, would undermine public confidence in their profession. Sadly, we never hear from those bankers. The trustworthy, the dependent, the hard-working bankers. It's always the loud, aggressive, greedy bankers we hear, demanding more handouts from the state to support their feckless lifestyle. But we don't need those bankers anymore. They're the ones who've got sick of this business. And their inability to understand their destructive role in the credit crunch is underlined by their eagerness to get back to business as usual. Let them go, I say. For what we lose in terms of economic power, we will gain in social cohesion. Casting out the money changers now will put down a marker in this election year. A clear declaration that the citizens of this country are no longer held in thrall to the mythology of the market. That we believe that wealth creation is beneficial to our society only if everyone shares in those benefits. We've come out here today to do as